Plaintiffs Paul Sechrist and his wife Jeanette rented a house to the defendants, and soon after they discovered the defendant was working as a prostitute. They're suing their former tenants for property damages. Defendants Harvey Hall and his wife Amanda say while living in the plaintiff's rental property, the plaintiffs constantly called Amanda's job, despite repeated attempts asking for them to stop. As a result, Amanda was fired, so they're countersuing for harassment.
Start with you all.
Well, Your Honor, Mr. and Ms. Hall moved into one of our rental properties.
When?
2016, April.
Okay.
And soon after, Mr. Hall told me they were having marital problems. And
Why do you think he told you that? Because they anticipated moving, or?
No, because he was behind on his rent, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor.
What does that have to do with arguing with your wife?
He constantly came up with excuses for the rent.
So you knew that was another excuse. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, you got an excuse for me. What?
We're not here about rent, we're here about damages.
All right, that's a good excuse for not telling.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
I heard that excuse.
And soon after, like I said, he started talking about having marital problems and so forth and so on. And we soon found out that Miss Amanda was prostituting herself.
That's a lie.
Propane gas.
And why are you discussing this part of, why are you referring to that part of her character? His related because you believe it was an attempt to evade rent. That's why his actions were relevant regarding telling you that. Why is hers relevant? You're saying because she could have taken that money and paid the rent, her prostitution money?
That never happened. That's
That
a
is
lie.
not true.
So you're mad at that?
Yes, sir.
If you had your druthers, you would say pick it up.
Pay the rent.
Pay
Yes,
a couple
sir.
more,
We're not here about rent.
walk a couple more hours down that stroll.
Sure.
We
Yeah.
need our rent.
That's right.
Do a couple more
Yes,
rent
sir.
hours.
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't believe that, man. I don't believe that, ma'am. I don't believe that at all. So, you want to say anything, ma'am? You want to say anything? The woman has called you a prostitute. She say you could have paid your rent if you'd have walked a little faster. So don't you want to address that?
That is not true at all.
No, it's not, but I at least want you to say it. Go ahead. I'm giving you a chance. Now, you make people suspicious when you don't respond
That is
to
not
it.
true at all. I go to work and I take care of my children. I'm a CNA. That is not true at all.
Yeah, I don't believe you're a prostitute. Go ahead.
Soon after, they moved in, of course, like I said.
So did you get your money once she started prostituting?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. There was always excuses for the rent.
About the prostitution. She said they didn't pay.
No,
Or
sir.
they ran off one time. And we were in the
many
hotel
reasons.
and they just ran out before I could get my money.
There were many reasons.
Where's she even going with this? This is about damages.
I'm having fun with her about this.
We need to talk
Let
about.
me tell you, sir, anything that can possibly be connected to paying her rent, she's allowed to say it.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and then you can refute it. Go ahead.
But it was just always one excuse after the other.
All right, and did they ever pay a full month's rent on time?
They were never caught up. No. They paid $850 one time, but it was to go with back rent.
All right. Sir, you all want to give me some background on the case?
We did move in around April of 2016. I did start having problems, financially, because I had lost a job. I was trying to get another job, and
Ma'am, did you know he had lost his job while living there?
He had lost several jobs.
In the 2 years they lived in our home, he lost 7 jobs.
7?
7
No.
in 2 years. Yes,
No,
sir.
that's
How
not
many
true.
do you say?
I only went I worked at a restaurant, and I worked at a pallet yard.
You worked
Now-
at Walmart. You worked at, where else?
You remember Walmart?
Okay, Walmart, I got terminated because my daughter was in the
That's what I'm saying.
hospital.
Everywhere you went, you got
7
terminated. That's the
jobs.
point they're making.
I don't believe it was 7 jobs, though.
There was three different restaurants he worked at.
Dimples was a chicken restaurant. and there was also a barbecue restaurant he worked at. And then there was way out west, Silverados.
You remember all these restaurants?
Yes, I do.
So what was? Why did you lose 7 jobs?
Okay, I did not lose. I went to way out west. I left them 2 places on my terms for more money. Okay?
7 times?
No, sir.
How many times?
On Dimples and the
How many
barbecue
times did you
restaurant.
leave for more money?
Them
Once.
2 jobs.
1,
Them 2.
2.
Yeah.
All right. So the other 5, you lost your job.
Yes.
Why do you think you lost 5 jobs in 2 years?
The pallet yard, I lost because I was working maintenance, and the woman there said that things wasn't getting done in a timely manner. I mean, you know.
No,
Walmart.
no, I never lost a job.
Walmart, I got terminated because my daughter got put in the hospital.
They didn't like that?
No, I was on
They didn't like the fact that she went to the hospital?
No, I was on probation, and they said because I had missed, was going to miss so many days, they were going to
What
terminate.
hours did you work?
I worked, it was different hours. Sometimes I worked days.
All right, good enough. Now, were there problems with the rent? She says you all never paid on time once.
No,
never.
that's not true.
You did?
Yeah, I mean,
It was more than one.
we paid on time more than once because
You never got caught up, though. Never.
I'm talking to him, sir.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking to you.
Were you always caught up on your rent?
No, sir,
No.
not all the time.
All right, what's that kind of?
When it
You
ended-
said not all the time.
We were caught up for a while.
No,
Okay.
sir.
We paid
They
money.
say not at all.
No, sir.
All right, well, so you all don't agree on that.
They left owing us $5,800 in rent.
All right, but they're saying at one point or another, he was up to date.
No.
So let's get to the property damages you're suing for. What happened?
Yes, sir. On the lease, it plainly states on number 7 on the lease that the yard area and the house is to be kept free of objects that may cause injury to others and free of trash and sticks.
I
If
see
you'd
it.
like to see that, Your Honor.
All right.
We gave him ample opportunity. Miss Hall left me a letter dated 2/15. We did not find until March the 2nd of 2018. And it said that she had moved out of the house and Mr. Hall would be out and have everything done by the 1st of March. Okay? Mm-hmm. We gave them, Mr. Hall, ample time that he could have cleaned the house and yard. As a matter of fact, we gave him until the 14th. They kept asking for more time. And we gave them until the 15th. I have text
Let's
messages
see.
first
To
thing.
clean, correct? To clean?
To clean the outside in the yard and the house.
Okay. And so they didn't do it, and then what?
They did not do it. So therefore, I had to have my husband clean it. And he spent 9 days, sir. I have pictures showing the damage. This is an invoice.
You have a list?
Yes, right here.
Give me the list and the pictures. Thank you.
It was just trash. It was sour food that they had taken out of the refrigerator and left on the counter. It was children's vitamins and children's protein boosts that they had not been given to children. There were roaches so badly, the house called for 2 roach bombs. We put 6, and there were still roaches coming. I have pictures to show. You've already got them.
Did they give you a security deposit when they moved in?
Their rent never got paid, so no, they didn't.
No. Did you charge them one?
Yes.
It was supposed to be one.
they never paid?
Never paid it, no, sir.
That
I
true?
paid her $850.
Did you pay a security deposit?
Yes, sir, I
Yes.
did.
Of how much?
$850.
That was
Yes.
that was the first month's rent.
Right. And
Yes,
then
sir.
you also paid the first month's rent
No,
at the
sir.
same time?
I paid a security deposit and rent.
No.
And that was $850?
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
Your
so
Honor.
your monthly rent was how much?
800 and it was either 800 or 850.
You don't even know how much your
It
rent
was $850.
cost. But
It's
yet
been a
you
while.
say you paid every dime, and you don't even know how much your rent costs.
Yes.
It was either $8.25 or something. I never gave it all, so I wouldn't know, Judge. Why are you asking me this?
Right. Right.
If your rent was $8.50 and that's all you gave her, you could not have paid her both the security deposit and the rent at the same time as you claim. So you are totally confused about what you paid. Either that or you're lying, and therefore your credibility regarding your rent is over. Now,
Yes.
what else?
Okay,
I'm looking at the trash. So far, it's just trash. And the blinds in the den. Had to clean the front patio. You had the oven on the stove. Doesn't work. Did they ever notify you that it wasn't
No.
working? Okay. Utility room needed to be cleaned. All right. Your counterclaim is for what?
Harassment.
$2,870 for harassment.
Yes, sir.
How so?
Okay. Miss Seacrest told me on a phone conversation that she called my wife's employer, inquiring about when my wife got paid, what her work schedule was, and how much she made, okay? And told me on a phone conversation with Mr. Seacrest that my wife would probably lose her job if this went to court and wage garnishments were entered, and all this. And I have proof right here where my wife was terminated.
That's not true, sir. I did not call the work.
You told me
Actually,
that.
I have Pearl River County Hospital where she was working. I have a letter from Human Resources that says I did not call.
See it, please. And I'm looking at the paint. What was wrong with the walls and the paint? Why did you have to? Anything
One of the
extraordinary?
bedrooms had a big, looked like oil spot on it. I don't know what it was from, but that had to be all kills in the bedroom we painted. The living room had a wall or two walls in it that were red. So that had to be all kills and repainted, and that connected to it was a living room, dining room, kitchen combination. So everything had to be painted in there.
And most landlords do repaint before another tenant moves in.
I agree with that, but
As a traditional part
We
of
wouldn't
being
have
a
had to
rental.
without
not-
the red
not the
paint.
red.
I'm not going to debate with you about
Which
it.
I had
determine how
permission-
much you get.
Which
so
I
go
had
ahead.
permission from them to paint that red paint in the living
Amanda's
room.
termination of employment was not related to any garnishments that were received.
Because there was
Termination of employment was initiated on June 3rd, unrelated to any payroll or financial bearings. And you say she was terminated because they were calling.
Yes,
and
sir.
this does say it has nothing to do with garnishment, ma'am.
Because, Your Honor, there has not been a garnishment entered yet. Ms. Seacrest said if it went to garnishment that she would probably be terminated from her employer.
So it did involve garnishment.
Eventually it would have. Yes, and
The question is it a result of her calling and harassing for something that was illegitimate? And now we know it wasn't. It was legitimate, and that's what folks do when they get a judgment. They try and contact you to find out where you work and submit that garnishment request to the employer. Your claim is dismissed. I'm going to give you all $1,500 for these cleaning expenses because that excludes paint, which is a routine part of a new tenant moving in. Have a good day. $1,500 for the plaintiff. You all's claim is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is not true at all. I have a legitimate job. I'm a CNA. I take care of my children 24/7. That is not true at all, and I just want them to leave me alone.
We have not been harassing them. We just would like them to be stand-up people and pay what they're supposed to pay. They mooch off people.
that's a lie. I
It's
think you're a
not a
liar.
lie.
You're vindictive. You're an
No,
ugly
you
person.
are a liar.
You run around town.
You
Look,
supposedly
keep
go
my
to
name out your
church.
mouth as of this day.
Harvey,
Don't
Harvey,
contact
my
us.
name's
I don't
gonna
want.
be
I don't
in
want
your
to.
mouth.
Why did you
I'm
have
done with
all
you.
babies, man?
Goodbye.